Have you ever looked forward to playing a video game for a long time? Like they announce it years earlier and you wait and you wait and you wait with bated breath, and then it comes out and you play it, and maybe it just doesn't suck, but maybe you're just really disappointed? I'm not saying it's a bad game. It's just that it fell below your expectations. Further below your expectations than you were expecting. Hey guys, I'm RNG Gamer. I do play all my games randomly, and here are some games I thought were gonna be great that just disappointed me. There's a game franchise that's loved by so many people. The fourth game in the series just came out. The first two games I played like crazy. As a matter of fact, I think I got every single achievement in both of those games, including all the DLC, which is a tall order because not that many people did that. The third game came out and I hyped it so much to my wife, and she said, "That sounds great." She bought it for us to play for a Christmas present, and it's Borderlands 3. And she even bought the Super Deluxe Edition. The first time I played Borderlands, I thought it was absolutely magical. You have this cel-shaded first-person shooter that's a looter shooter with all these random drops like Diablo. You can get these super overpowered, crazy weapons. There were 4 characters to choose from to play, and they were all very different. The game was epic. It was an interesting setting, had great humor in it, a banging soundtrack. It was so much fun, and I played it to death. Then not long after that, the sequel came out. It was more of the same. It had some new characters, it had some new weapons, but it was generally the same game. Still fun. I still played it like crazy. The third game came out. I played it with my wife, and we weren't having a good time right from the onset. It was still kind of the same world, although you traveled to new planets now. The hub world was this hard to navigate spaceship where we kept getting lost. My wife couldn't find like where to buy ammo on the spaceship, so I'd have to like help her, and then I'd get lost too. The villains in this were like these lame kid freaking like Instagram like influencers that were so annoying, and like I wished them ill, but I didn't want to like go kill them. You know, I just wanted to ignore them. The gameplay was exactly the same. It didn't feel any different, except for a few things. One, the game played like garbage. Huge frame rate drops, screen tearing, bugs. It was a disaster. The humor in the game that I loved so much, it's like it regressed. Like, it was like a 12-year-old wrote some of the jokes. I don't think we laughed a single time. Whereas in Borderlands 1 and 2, I was laughing non-stop. It just felt juvenile, and it always did, but it was like not juvenile in terms of like how silly it was just written by somebody that didn't know how to write a joke. But the biggest flaw in this was that the text, the font size, was so small we could not read it. The developers of this said that they developed it on their PCs sitting like a foot away from their computer monitors, so they didn't have any problem reading it. But when you're sitting in your living room like 10 feet or more away from your TV, it's unreadable. It's literally unreadable. Every time font popped up on the screen, like a weapon or a quest marker or something you're supposed to do, one of us had to get up off the couch, walk across the room, and get like right up in the freaking screen like this to try to read it. And even then, you couldn't read some of it. There just weren't enough pixels on the screen, even though we had a 4K TV. They patched this when we were like 80% of the way through the game to make it bigger, but even blown up all the way, it didn't work. There was so much text, the little text boxes, they didn't want to change those. They just had to make the small font fit in those. It wasn't enough. We did not have a good time with this, and we finished it, but boy, it was so disappointing. There was a Gamecube game that was on my wish list for the better part of 10 years. I never saw it out in public, and I was out at a country store that sold old video games, and they just happened to have one copy of this game for like 10 bucks. And at the time it was going for about 50, and I grabbed it. And it's PN03, which stands for Project Number 3. I believe this game was designed by the creator of Resident Evil 4. Am I right about that? It's something like that. And this game looks like a third-person action game, like hack and slash shooter with like a cute girl in it. What's not to like? Beating the game even allows you to unlock sexier outfits. So there's an incentive to beat the game multiple times. The problem is, this game doesn't play like a third-person hack and slash. No, it's a freaking rhythm game. There's like this trance music going on back and forth, right? And the main character, she sways her hips and she dances to it, and all of her attacks are on the beat, right? She's shooting spells or shooting guns. She doesn't shoot spells. She's shooting guns and she's attacking and hacking and slashing. And the enemies shoot on the beat and you have to dodge out of the way on the beat. There's a little bit of trouble with that. You see, where's the beat? Is the beat when the enemy shoots, or do you dodge on the beat? Right? You're playing to the beat, okay? So you are shooting on the beat. You're pressing the button on the beat to shoot. Does that make sense? But the enemies are also shooting on the beat. But the bullets don't get to you on the beat. So you're pressing the dodge button off of the beat. You're shooting on the beat and pressing the dodge button off the beat. That makes it a little hard to get into rhythm. Can you imagine that? It's like in like music where you have a polyrhythm, right? You're in like 4/4 time against 5/4 time. So you have this like this nonsensical rhythm that's going on, right? Most people aren't gonna be able to do that. I'm a musician. I wasn't able to do that. This game felt impossible to play. It ended up turning it into a button masher, which is not in the spirit of that game. It's supposed to be freaking fluid, and you're supposed to get into the flow. I could never get into the flow. Maybe I'm too locked into the beat, and I needed to be like a worse musician to get into this, but I wasn't able to do it. Also, the main character is a total freaking butthole. She's rude to everybody. She says all these snarky comments. It doesn't matter if she's hot if you can't stand listening to her, right? We've all dated somebody like that before, right? They're nice to look at, but every second you spend with them, you're like grinding your teeth. That's what she's like. I wanted to love this game so much, but the designers just made it hard to love. Very disappointed in it. And it's kind of like a hidden gem now and like a sought after game. But buddy, let me tell you, to just play it, I don't think it's worth the money. When I was a kid, everybody talked about Doom. That's all anybody wanted to play. I was like 12 years old when that game came out. It took the world by storm and we all loved it. Doom held a fond place in my heart up until they decided to remake it in 2016. I was like, really, guys? Like, haven't we already done this? I picked up a copy of the game used at GameStop for just a few bucks, dove into it, and boy, have I never been so wrong about a game. Doom 2016 was so amazing. It was a creepy atmosphere, and you would enter into these arenas with all these demons. And it was like playing jazz. You got to improvise how you wanted to take them out. Maybe you melee these guys. Maybe you shoot these guys. Maybe you cut these guys apart with a chainsaw. It was so much fun figuring out how to succeed in the original Doom. The original Doom remake in 2016. So, when Doom Eternal came out, got it day one. Your boy here, RNG, at that time, before YouTube, still had the gold star system. I spent my gold star to push Doom Eternal to the front of my random gaming queue, and I played it. And let me tell you, it was not the same experience. They did two huge problems with this game. And I'm not saying Doom Eternal's bad. It's a good game. It's just not as good as Doom 2016. And I'm gonna tell you why. One, they decided to focus a bunch on platforming. Platforming in first-person view is really tricky to pull off, and they just didn't pull it off in this game. 80% of my deaths came to platforming challenges. And here's the thing about the platforming challenges. Most of them have no significance on the game, right? You're not platforming while you're fighting enemies. You're just platforming to like pad out the levels. It's like having a really tall tunnel you have to platform up. It doesn't serve any purpose. It doesn't challenge you, really. It just serves to like give you a hard obstacle to get over. I didn't like that. The other one is they added too many combat mechanics that are all on timers. You got your freaking glory kills, which is your melee. You got your weapons. You have your chainsaw. You got your flamethrower. You have all these tools at your disposal, but the problem is they're all on limited ammo. You have less bullets than you think. You have less fuel for your chainsaw. You have less fuel for your flamethrower. Your glory kills only charge up when an enemy's about to die. And that's how you refill your ammo. And then one of them, like the flamethrower, refills your health when you kill enemies with it. So what you end up doing is like, you kill an enemy with the flamethrower to get the health you need so you can get into melee an enemy to get the ammo you need to shoot your gun so they will drop the fuel you need for your chainsaw, then you use your chainsaw to kill a guy. Like, it's just to recharge your shit. It becomes this circle of refilling resources. A lot of the combat encounters, and I did play the game on hard, I believe, or like I'm Too Young to Die or what, I can't remember what, not Nightmare, but like what's the second one? Hurt Me Plenty or whatever it is. I spent a lot of the combat encounters just running around circles in the arena, waiting for one of those things to like recharge, so I could use it to get some ammo, so I could like kill one dude to get the resource I needed to use the next thing. It was not fun. I did not find that gameplay system to be fun. The original Doom 2016, when you played, you were playing by your rules. You went into the combat encounters fighting the way you wanted to do, the way that makes you feel like a badass. In Doom 2016, you have to play exactly the way Bethesda wants you to play. I didn't like that. That's not in the spirit of Doom to me. So I beat it, but I did not like it as much. I still think it's a good game, but it could have been so much better. Now, just because some of these games let me down doesn't mean they're not good. And just because some games will let you down doesn't mean there aren't a lot of great ones. And if you need to go grab a great game, let me tell you about today's sponsor, Goodiez. Goodiez is my favorite online marketplace for buying, selling, and trading games. Goodiez recently added the feature where you can trade in multiple games at once. And if you trade in multiple games at once, over $200 worth, you get free shipping to their store. And now that's even easier because they've added in AI scanning and barcode scanning to trade in the games even faster. You don't have to search for them, just beep, pop them in. You can use the credit from your trade-ins in the Goodiez store. They're running great promotions and deals. Breaking news, guys. I just learned that between September 28th and midnight on October 24th, there's an additional 30% trade credit. You definitely want to take advantage of that. And the deals are about to get even better because I have a special offer for you. Put your Goodiez ID in the comments down below, and I am going to select 5 people at random, of course, to earn a $20 credit to use in the Goodiez store. You have nothing to lose. It's free $20. You can find the link to Goodiez down below, and while you're down there, make sure to leave that comment. Thank you so much, Goodiez, for sponsoring this video. Let's get back to talking about some games. I played the original Dragon Age game on the Xbox 360 and thought it was really good. I was looking forward to the second one. When it came out, I heard they changed up the gameplay. A lot of people didn't like it. It became way more action-oriented rather than RPG-oriented. I skipped it. I gave up on the Dragon Age series, and it kind of faded away until there was a huge announcement that a new Dragon Age was coming out on the PS4, and it was called Dragon Age Inquisition. It looked cool, but it hadn't won me over. The game came out, it got pretty decent reviews, but a lot of people that I respect told me how great it was. So I went out and I grabbed it. I brought it home, popped it in my console, started playing it. And the things they told me about this game were not true. It was not easier to play. It was not a lot of fun. You were not super overpowered. What are they talking about? We'll see. In the meantime, since the game came out and got reviewed, and when I played it, BioWare decided to patch the game. That's right. They thought the game was too easy. People learned how to manipulate the game too much. And they're blowing through it and becoming super overpowered. BioWare didn't like that. They didn't like that. They want people to struggle. They want people to crunch the numbers, and they want them to have to min-max every single little nuance to the game mechanics. And they want it to feel like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons. They want it to feel like you're playing Dungeons and Dragons where you're playing on a team of 6 people and you're in charge of all 6 characters. It's too much to keep track of. All the best skills, the best classes, the best builds, they nerfed all that crap way down. All the useless skills that didn't work very well, they bumped those up a little bit. But in general, the power mechanic of most of the characters got knocked way down. So a game that originally took like 30 to 40 hours to beat got stretched out to like 60 and 80. There's no more content. You're just weaker and the enemies are tankier. At the time I was a trophy hunter and I followed a trophy guide that told me exactly what I needed to do to knock out all the trophies in this game. Pick this class and this build, and that will make it super easy to get the freaking combo you need for this hard to get trophy. Wrong. They patched it after that. None of it worked. The class I selected ended up being the weakest class after it was previously the strongest. So what was supposed to be a fun, streamlined, interesting game with a good story got drug out to this long, grindy slog. Halfway through the game, I was resenting it so much I probably could have started over, picked a different class, rebuilt my team, everything, but I was too deep in. I've made this bed, now I've got to sleep in it. It was not fun. It turned me off so much that whenever they announced Dragon Age anything, I'm like, nah, it's okay. I'll just skip it. They would have to do so much work to win me over, to get me to play another Dragon Age game, because I played 2. I didn't really have a super great time with either one of them. And I think I've skipped half of them, just, I don't know. You guys like Dragon Age? Or is it just kind of like meh to you? Because it's definitely meh to me. One of the first games I ever played on the PS4 that stood out to me was a horror game called Until Dawn. It was full of incredible actors, interesting story, interesting setting. I loved the game. It was so much fun. It was put out by a company called Supermassive Games. Later, I played a VR game from them on the PS4 called Until Dawn Rush of Blood, which was like a 2-gun shooting rail shooter in a carnival, in like all these scary situations. I thought it was one of the best VR games I've ever played. So when they announced a new series called Dark Pictures Anthology, and they were gonna be like short little movie, small games, like the Until Dawn game, and they're gonna be in different settings, I was on board. I was like, I'm gonna buy every one of those. And you know what? I did. But guess what? Not a single one of the Dark Pictures Anthology games has come close to living up to Until Dawn. So my pick here is all of the Dark Pictures Anthology games. The first one I played had an ending that just like negated everything that happened in the game. The second one I played crashed 15 minutes before the end of the game and corrupted my save file, which was not backed up on PlayStation Premium or whatever. I couldn't see the end of the game, so I had to go on YouTube and watch the end of the game. The next one I played last Halloween was pretty decent. I thought it was all right. I was like, yeah, it was pretty good. Come to find out, like, it's the best. I was like, pretty good, you're best? It has all the gameplay of Until Dawn. But I realized what's so great about Until Dawn is it gave you enough time to get to know the characters. In these games, mostly, you don't really have a chance to get to know the characters. These games are only a few hours long. The best time I ever had playing one of these was live on a stream where I was like making fun of it the whole time. That was a good time. I enjoyed that. I wish them the best, but they just need to make half as many of these games and put twice the effort into each one of them. Of course, then they wouldn't have a game coming out every year. And you know, if you want to be a huge publisher, the way you do that is you put out a game every single year. Activision, Square Enix have taught us this. I don't like that. Yeah, you'll have constant profits for your shareholders, but you're not going to build up a loyal fan base. You're going to thin that out. I really pull for Supermassive Games. I wish them the best of the luck, best of all the luck. All the lucks that can be bested, I wish them to have that. But they just gotta like get their game up. How do you make Until Dawn as your first game when you don't know what you're doing and that's like your best game? And everything after that isn't as good. Disappointed in that one. I was on a trip to Japan and I had so many multi-hour layovers that I was just sitting there on my laptop trying to play every game that I had downloaded off Steam. And there were like 3 of them. And one of them was this really interesting game. I've never really played anything like it before. It's a competitive tower defense racing game called Rock of Ages. I played it, I played Rock of Ages 2, and I was so looking forward to Rock of Ages 3 coming out on the PS4. And of course, I bought it day one, and once again, spent a gold star so I could play it with my wife. That's right, you can play in co-op. We popped it into the PS4. I explained how you play the game. It's very interesting. You're a giant boulder at the top of a hill, and your opponent is building defenses on your hill to stop you from rolling the boulder down the hill. The purpose is to roll your boulder, which you control, you are the boulder, down your hill and into your enemies, through your enemies' defenses into their castle or whatever, right? And the first person to destroy the other castle wins. It's very strategic, it's very fun. It's, like I said, it's tower defense mixed with a racing game because your opponent's doing the same thing at the same time. You're racing against each other, but also like weird Marble Madness controls. It's so much fun. My wife, right off the bat, really enjoyed it. She liked the gameplay. She was into it more than most games we've ever played. We got about 20% through the game. We did all the side quests. We got to a story mission, 20% of the way through that level. The game crashes. It just crashes. It just shuts down. That's strange. We reset our PS4, give it another shot at the exact same spot. It crashes. I was like, they'll patch it. It's new, they'll fix it. We waited a year, popped it in, no patch. Game still crashes. Tried it on a PS4 Pro, game still crashes in the exact same spot. Tried it on the PS4 Slim, game still crashes. Tried Tried it across 3 different PS4s, it never worked. Put it in the PS5, crashes in the same spot. The game just does not work. I went online, of course, so many people are complaining about it. I messaged the company that made it. Sent them tweets and stuff, or X's. I sent them many X's. Not hugs and kisses, but like on X. And you know what the reply was? We're busy focusing on other projects right now, we're not gonna patch it. You mean to tell me that you made a game and had it pressed to a physical disc, knowing it didn't work, and you couldn't get past 20% of the game, and you're just like, send it. We got their money, we don't need to fix it. What are they gonna do, return it to the store? It's already open. What freaking business model is that? Spitting in the face of your customers directly, you stole money. There may not even be any content on that disc past that point. Maybe they just made 20% of a game and just lied about the rest of it existing. I've never gotten it to work. I've done everything I could to get it to work. I would love to play it because I think Rock of Ages is a really cool gameplay style. But talk about screwing somebody over. This is the game I've been most disappointed about not working over any game I bought in like the last 10 years. Because it spoiled the time I was having with my wife. Ruined it. Thanks, Rock of Ages 3. Disappointed. Well, guys, if you stuck around this long, I really appreciate it. Do that for me if you haven't already. Also, give me a like and leave me a comment. And if you have the ability to, hype the video. That really helps from what I understand. The names and the messages you see on screen right now, well, those are my Patreon supporters and my channel members. I couldn't do this channel without them. I like to give them a lot of benefits for doing it. They get access to my Discord, where they get to talk to me and each other. They get the videos early. They get member exclusive videos, where I've got a really good Q&A coming up very soon, where they get to ask me whatever they want. They get their names, their messages in the videos. They can even pick some games from my backlog for me to play. If that sounds interesting to you, and you want to help RNG out, because YouTube's expensive, you can find links to that in the description down below. I really appreciate you guys. Thank you so much for all you do for me, and I'll catch you in the next video.